Hi everyone, it's Sherry and I am back again with a digital stamp from Jess Crafts Digitals. This is a new release that comes out today and I wanted to try doing a little bit of no-line coloring using digital stamps. When I bring in my digital stamps, or I should say when I download my digital stamps, I then take them into Pages, which I use a Mac, so that's my word processor. And once I get it into Pages, I can manipulate the size. And I just discovered by accident that I can actually change the opacity of the, oh, excuse me, I'm getting a text message. One moment, please. Okay, I apologize. Where was I? Oh, yes. When I bring this into my word processing software, I discovered I could change the opacity of the image lines. So that's what I did here. And I made them extremely light. It was hard to pick up with the camera, as you could see, but I could see it pretty well here. So now I have masked off my little raccoon. I did print him out on masking paper as well. And then I found this tree stencil in my stash. This is an old one from the Crafters Workshop. I don't even know if it's still available or not. But I'm going to use some distress inks. I'm using gathered twigs, broken china, and I believe the green one is pine needles. And I'm just going to create a background around my little raccoon. And to be totally honest, I don't even know why I picked up the gathered twigs and started using it. But I was really surprised with the outcome, and it was a pleasant surprise. So I decided to continue down at the bottom as well. So it just kind of gave these, the brighter color of the broken china, it kind of dulled it down a little bit. So I thought, what the heck, I'll do the same thing here with the pine needles as well. So I'm going to get that all sponged on, and you can see there that I put some Post-it tape around the edge of the card too, because my first thought was I wanted to have a little white border. So we'll get into that later on in the video. I also printed the sentiment. I changed the color of the sentiment and printed that in brown. I used the Canson Bristol vellum to do the printing for this particular card. And now I am going to go in with my Prismacolor pencils and I am going to color my little raccoon. I am not going to show you the entire coloring process because it will take forever. This was a 50-minute video before I started editing. So I will list all of the pencil colors that I used over on my blog if you are interested. And you can see here I kind of mapped out. If you've ever looked at a raccoon, he has these little white eyebrows, if you will, over his black mask. So I just wanted to add that little tidbit of detail. And that's what I was doing there with the lighter gray pencil. And now I'm just going to come in and start coloring his mask. And I'm going to finish up the rest of the raccoon and his coffee cup. And the next place you'll see me working is going to be on his little party hat. And I'm just finishing up the party hat here. And I do use my blender pencil. That is just tends to be my best friend since I don't do chemicals. And it really works well. Alright, so I'm brushing off the excess pigment there that comes from the pencils. and finish up these little curly cues on top of his party hat. And then I decided I was not going to make this a one layer card, and I cut the front portion off and found a piece of cardstock in my stash to mat the back of this main panel. And at this point, I thought I was almost finished, and I looked at it and I'm thinking, there's just something wrong. And as you can see here, my raccoon is standing in the air in the forest. So I went back to my printer and I printed out this sentiment again on another piece of paper, and I cut it down to the width of the front panel. And then I'm just bringing in my distress inks again and adding a little bit of color to that piece. And so essentially what I'm going to do is cover up the mistake that I made. So there's always a fix. I was determined because I'd already spent, 40 some minutes trying to color this little raccoon. I was not going to give up. So I'm going to get that finished up, and then I'm going to grab my grassy borders die, or grassy border die from Lawn Fawn, and take it over to my Big Shot and cut that out. Put away my inks here. And here's the die. And I'm going to line that up again, and I'm going to go cut it out. And then to put it onto my card, again, I'm just using a little bit of Tombow. And I will get that on the card, and makes the biggest difference, I think, anyway. I didn't want my raccoon standing in the air, and there was no other way I could fix it. And since I used the inks down there, it kind of dulled down the sentiment. So I'm just coming back in with the same color pencil and just going over that very lightly. So that's it for today. Hop on over to Jess Crafts Digitals on Etsy, and you might find something that interests you. And I thank you for joining, and I will speak to you again soon. Bye now.